Yogi, Suzanne here. I am coming to you today from my home studio, and I have an Anahata Chakra, heart chakra practice for you. We will be working to create openness through the front and the back of the heart to feed and nurture this energy center. This is the energetic center that helps to manage the love of ourselves, but also the love of others. And not just romantic love, but love of compassion, of joy, of friendship. So we'll be doing some heart opening, some gentle back bending to help nourish this area. You will need a block and a blanket. If you don't have a blanket, use a towel. You can find an easy substitute there. We'll use the block sparingly, so you can probably get away with that one if you don't have one. Step stool, a box, some books might be a good substitute as well. So to start our practice, we'll start with a gentle heart roll. Take your blanket and find just a little roll. Now, if you know that you're more mobile in the upper back, you might want this roll to be a little thicker. If you want to keep things a little more gentle, you might like less aggressive, a little bit of a smaller roll. You'll position that towards the back of your mat, and the roll is going to come just about to the tips of the shoulder blades when we're reclined. So with feet to the floor, knees up, and your tail stays down, you'll recline onto that blanket. The shoulder heads will release above the roll. So you want to make sure hips and shoulders are touching down and the neck feels gentle. Once you have that situated, you can decide if you want to increase the roll to get a little more lift, or soften the roll if you were a little aggressive in the beginning. But once you settle, take a few breaths. Just let the breath begin to settle. And then maybe find a clearing breath, a nice deep inhale. And an exhale to let go. And start to settle into an even cadence of the breath. I would recommend equal breath today, Samadhi. Just staying in a nice, even, calm cadence as we practice. As we start to find the breath, as we begin to settle in here, I'll invite you to bring attention to your heart and start to find an intention for your practice. This might be related to the love of yourself, the love of others. The heart chakra, Anahata Chakra, also has an element of both giving and receiving. So you might welcome an intention of balance in that giving and receiving of love. At times where we do a better job of one versus the other, and you might just notice where you are today in that little balancing act. Like much of our yoga practice, balance is a continual theme, and that balance of the heart, that balance of giving, receiving, is really important. So take a few more breaths here, just settling in, starting to hone in on intention. And when you're ready, I will invite you to gently take a rock, take a shift to your right side. You might press up just a little bit so that you can remove that heart roll, that blanket from beneath you. Coming back to your back. As you come back to your back, you might notice like the residual lift, the residual space that is left from the lift of the heart, the openness through the front of the heart. And then if you feel comfortable doing so, take the hands one on top of the other to the heart, and take a moment and seal intention into the heart space. Let that bring focus and meaning to your movement, to your breath today. feel that is set and ready, just let the arms drape beside the body. Maybe start to find a little windshield wiper of the knees. There is some shoulder work in our practice today, just a little bit. But if you have compromised shoulders, just feel free to modify or omit as necessary. Everything we do in this practice is optional. When you're ready, take a little shift to your right side. The left hand comes behind the back. If you want to stay more gentle, take the hand to the low back area. If you have more mobility, you're going to move the hand up a little higher. So you place the hand to the back and then roll back on to the mat so that your body weight is gently pressing into the hand to the arm. You want to make sure this is gentle tension, gentle pressure. If you have shoulder injury, be very cautious with this movement, maybe even omit it. Once that left arm is set, you might lift the head, taking the right hand behind the head or to the base of the neck. Just, again, looking for a gentle opening. So this is a little reclined variation of Gomukhasana arms, cow-facing arms. Take a few breaths here. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, release that right arm first. Rock a little to the right and release the left arm. Just open up and pause. And on an inhale, draw the right knee to the chest. Find a little movement through the ankle, maybe movement through the hip. Give that knee a hug and then draw the right knee across the body. So that's the most important piece here, is just finding this twist. If you want a little bit more, if you have the space for more, the back hand, that right hand grabs the bottom foot. So opposite hand, opposite foot, just accentuating the twist. If that's out of reach or out of range, don't worry. The knee across the body twist, that's the most important piece here. And then breathe a few times in this twist. Take an inhale as you exhale, start to unwind, stepping the feet to the mat. Palms are going to face down. You might even hold the sides of the mat. Take a moment and draw the shoulders away from the ears. On an inhale, lift through the hips, coming into a bridge posture. Gaze stays straight up. You're welcome to take a block under the hips here, or find a moment floating, lifting, opening the front of the body, a little opening through the heart. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring the hips back down, maybe adding a windshield wiper through the knees. We'll find that in the other side, so take a little shift to your left side. The right hand comes behind the back, find where it fits on this side. Roll back to the back, drawing the shoulder away from the ear. Once you know you're in a good spot with this right side, then left hand might come behind the head and let that elbow drop wide, settling in here on this side. The arms and hands are extensions of Anahata Chakra, of the heart chakra, which makes sense as we oftentimes use our hands, our arms for care, for love, for tending. Take just a couple more breaths here. And then gently release the left hand first, and then a little shift to the left side as you release that right arm. Maybe some windshield wiper movements just to wash it out. And on an inhale, the left knee comes to the chest. Find movement maybe through the hip, through the ankle. And then inhale, hug the knee to the chest and then draw it across the body. So the twist is the most important part here. If you want a little bit more, that left hand is going to reach for the bottom foot. Just make sure the shoulder and the foot come heavy to the ground as you settle into the twist. Taking a few more breaths here. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to unwind. Bringing the feet to the floor, knees up. Hands hold the sides of the mat or press down. Take an inhale as you lift through the hips, floating here. If you feel like you have the space, you might clasp the hands, tuck the shoulders a little bit. You might feel a little squeeze through the back of the heart, a little stimulation there, and a little extra opening through the front. As always, you could add the block here if you felt like you wanted a little more support right now. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, gently release the hands if you have the clasp. Bring the hips back down and find a little windshield wiper. Keep that windshield wiper going and just take a little shift to your right side. Take as much time as you need and gently press up, finding a comfortable seat. As you come to a seat, as you come upright, I invite you to take your feet to the floor, knees up in front of you, and the hands will come behind. It doesn't matter how wide, but if you can, have those fingertips pointing towards the hips. Take a moment to roll the shoulders away from the ears, a little lift through the heart. Find that openness, and then take an inhale, and any amount, start to bend the elbows back. This does not have to be a big movement. We're looking for a gentle tug in that rotation of the shoulder, just a gentle stretch here. On an inhale, you can come out of it if you want. Feel free to adjust the hands in different position. And then right ankle comes over the left thigh for a little seated number 4. You control the heat, usually by that placement of the bottom leg. So find a spot where you're having a gentle conversation with that right hip. At least that's where I feel it. You might feel it in a different spot, and that's okay. Take an inhale. As you exhale, let the legs fall to the left, and you'll bring your torso upright. Take another inhale as you sit up tall, and then twist to the right, hugging the knee or hooking the elbow. The right hip can float. That's totally okay. Really just working to rotate the spine. Take an inhale as you exhale, unwind. The right shin will come forward just to an easy seat. Feel free to adjust the legs if that's not comfortable. And then any amount start to fold forward, keeping the heart open. So try not to collapse the front of the heart. Try to keep both the front and the back of the heart nice and open. On an inhale, start to come up. Step those feet to the mat again and bring the hands behind. If you can, fingertips point to the hips. Roll the shoulders away from the ear, broaden through the chest. Sit up nice and tall, and then the spine doesn't change. Just start to bend the elbows a little bit. And breathe. On an inhale, start to lift out. You can adjust the hands. Left ankle comes across that right thigh. Adjust this side. Make sure you're giving it what it needs. It's not the same as the other. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, let those legs drop to the right. Come up nice and tall, nice and upright. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, a little twist to the left. And this time that left hip might float. That's okay. Open through the heart. Get that nice rotation through the spine. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to unwind. This time that left shin comes forward, finding a little forward fold or hinge. Sometimes sitting upright is a great place to stay, especially if the hips are feeling tight. This might not be in the cards for you today. Good. On an inhale, start to come up. We're going to transition forward to all fours. If your knees are a little sensitive, or you just want that little extra push, you might add the blanket where the knees are going to be. So when you're ready, take a little shift forward, come into all fours. If it feels good, start to find a little cat-cow, maybe a little jump rope with the spine, any organic movement here. As you move though, think about that space through the front and the back of the heart. Can you create openness? So as you come forward in that cow posture, maybe don't collapse the back of the heart, keep the back of the heart open. We're going to transition our way to the top of the mat. You're welcome to step up there, or if you'd like, coming through a downward facing dog. Spend maybe a few breaths here if you'd like, eventually sauntering, making your way towards a forward fold at the top of the mat. Take an inhale, take a little lift to the heart. As you exhale, fold. Soften the knees if you'd like. Come all the way up to standing. Maybe reach those arms towards overhead. Take a big inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good. All right, here we go. Inhale, lace those hands. On an inhale, reach the arms towards overhead. And then exhale, take a little side bend to the right. Inhale, come through to center and go to the left. Inhale through to center, soften the knees, take a forward fold. Take an inhale, lift and offer the heart. Feel free to use the block here if you'd like. Right foot steps back to a little fingertip lunge, and go ahead and bring that back knee down. Foot and knee are roughly hip distance. That's usually a nice stable stance. Take a moment as you come up and settle in. Find a place where this knee is happy over that ankle. Maybe try not to protrude too far over. Once you settle in, the left hand will come to the thigh. If you feel stable, right arm reaches up. Take a little side bend, opening up through that right side. Inhale, coming back through to center. Take now that right hand to the thigh, left hand towards the back pocket. Roll the shoulders, maybe sink in, and take a little push into this twist. You can shake the head, sometimes that challenges the balance, or just start to trail the gaze behind you. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to unwind. Hands to the earth, or use the block here. Take a shift back, a pull back to half splits. Heart stays open, gentle tension through that left leg. Take an inhale as you exhale, soften forward. Stepping back towards a knee plank, heart is open, and then lower all the way to the front of your body. When you get here, stack the hands, rest the head on the hands, press through the tops of the feet. Keep those feet connected to the earth, and inhale, lift through the heart. Use those hands to support the head, and exhale, come down. Do that twice more. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale down, the feet press the whole time. One more time, inhale, lift through the heart. Exhale, come down. Press back towards an all fours shapes. So with those knees at about hip distance, the hips over the knees, walk the hands out. I like to hold the front of the mat. And then melt the heart towards the mat. Maybe the forehead touches down, or you can use the block to bridge the gap. If you're a little more open, maybe the sternum starts to touch down and the chin touches to the mat. Just make sure the neck and the shoulders agree with how far you're going into this pose. Slowly start to come up back through to that all fours shape. You can stay here in all fours or lift up to downward facing dog. The right foot steps forward. Bring the back knee down. And then set up in the lunge on this side. So foot and knee about hip distance. Take a moment and sink into this lunge. I like to, just sort of settle in, kind of see where my body's going to land today. When you do find a good place to work, keep that right hand to the thigh. If you feel stable, left arm reaches up, taking a little side bend. Coming back through to center, left hand comes to the thigh, right hand towards the back pocket. Roll the shoulders open through the chest and find this twist, maybe taking that gaze behind. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to unwind. Hands to the block or hands to the mat. Take a shift back, a pull back to half splits. Press through the tail. Just gentle tension through that right leg. This right leg might not be all the way straight. Take an inhale. This time as you exhale, soften forward. We're going to step to the top of the mat. So you might tuck the back toes, stepping to the top. Find a forward fold on an inhale, lift through the heart. Exhale, fold again, and reverse the swan dive, come to standing, bringing hands to the heart. You can always have the knees bent on that transition. And let's go one more time through the series. We'll add on a few things, should you want to take them. Inhale, reach those arms towards overhead, maybe interlace the palms. Take a little side bend left. Come back through to center and go to the right. Come back through to center, take an inhale. Exhale, soften the knees, find a forward fold. Lift and offer the heart. This time, the left foot steps back, coming to that fingertip lunge and bring the back knee down. Just like we did, settle into that lunge. You can do one-handed like we did before, or settle into the lunge, hands come to the heart, interlace those hands and reach the arms towards overhead. Take an inhale, exhale, little side bend to the right. Come back through to center, find a twist, left hand to the thigh, right hand to the back pocket, roll the shoulders, sink in. Maybe start to push into that back pocket and lean back just a little bit. Some of you might like to take that hand to the back thigh. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to unwind. Fingertips to the earth, shift back, pull back to that half splits. Now, if you're a tight hamstring person, this is probably more than enough. If you feel like you have a little bit of room, you might walk the hands over to the right, to the outside of the leg. Get a little twist in there. Maybe you get a different sensation on that hamstring, or you might feel that IT band on the outside of the leg. Take an inhale, exhale, start to unwind. Shift forward, coming towards that knee plank. So hands to the mat, knees down, a little plank-like shape through the body. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lower down. Flip to the tops of the feet again, stack the hands, maybe opposite hand on top. Rest the head. Now this round, if you want, you can lift both the head and the feet, or if you want to stay a little more grounded, keep those feet grounded to the mat. When you're ready, on an inhale, lift and expand. And as you exhale, release. Press down into the mat when you release. Do it again. Inhale, lift. Exhale to release. One more time, inhale to lift. Exhale, release. Press back through to all fours. So those hips stay over the knees, walking the hands out. This is sometimes called puppy pose. I prefer Anahata, the heart opening posture. Find that melt of the sternum, but make sure the neck, the shoulders are in a good place. When you're ready, start to lift up. Coming through to all fours. Remember, you can work here from all fours or lift up to down dog. Left leg is going to step forward, coming to the fingertip lunge on that left side, setting up for the top of the lunge. From here, you can go one-handed or interlace those hands, press through the palms, reach the arms towards overhead. Take an inhale, exhale, a little side bend left. Come back through to center. Take that twist to the left, hand to the thigh, maybe hand to the back pocket. Settle into the twist, and then there's maybe a little lean back. Maybe the hand changes position. Or maybe you just sink in just a little differently, a little deeper. Take an inhale. Exhale, start to unwind, hands to the earth. Shift back to half splits, half Hanuman. Press and open through the heart. That might be enough. If you want that little extra bit, walk the hands to the left. Keep all of that reach, all of that excitement so you don't lose the intensity. Take an inhale. As you exhale, start to unwind, softening forward, stepping to the top of the mat. Find that forward fold. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold. Reverse the swan dive, come to standing. Feel free to soften the knees there. Hands come to the heart. We're gonna make our way back either towards down dog or maybe child's pose is a good restful spot for you. When you're ready, inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, find the forward fold. Lifting off of the heart, stepping back to down dog. Child's pose, maybe another restful posture. And take a moment wherever you feel comfortable resting to just pause, to find your breath, to make sure you're honoring that giving and taking of love. So what you're giving to this practice, but what you're also receiving back for yourself in this moment. For this next series, if you have a block, you might like it towards the top of your mat. When you are ready, we'll come forward to either all fours, great starting point, or down dog. Right foot's gonna step forward to warrior one, so that back heel spins down. Come all the way up to the top of warrior. I like a little wider distance, a little more hips distance here, but pick a spot where you feel stable. Once those legs are set, let the hands rest beside the body, and 3 times. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, let the elbows roll open wide, opening the heart. Do that twice more. Inhale to reach. Exhale, a little roll. One more time, inhale, reach. Exhale, roll. Good. Take those hands to the back pockets. Roll the shoulders back, sink into the knee. Lift through the heart. And then hands move to the hips as you bump the back leg up so you have 2 straight legs. Feet at about hips distance-ish. Take an inhale, lift the heart. As you exhale, come forward towards a tabletop shape. So maybe start hands to the thigh as you pull the heart forward. I like to kind of press the hips back just a little bit. You are welcome to stay here or take that block to the outside of the right foot, maybe a couple of inches, So the hips stay roughly where they are. Hands go to the outside and then pull the heart in the diagonal, similar to what we did in that half splits. Take an inhale as you exhale, unwind. Start to soften the front knee. Hands come down to the mat, maybe nice and wide. Stepping back towards downward facing dog. You might step those feet a little wider. The hands might even hold the front of the mat. Roll the shoulders away from the ears and start to melt the sternum, not the head, but the sternum opening through the front and the back of the heart. You can do this from all fours, from that puppy pose. That Anahata would be a lovely option as well. When you're ready, lift up, reset either to all fours or to a down dog with hands and feet, maybe slightly more narrow. Coming to a warrior one on the second side, so the left foot steps forward, the back heel spins down, coming up top to the warrior one. Take a moment, set that stance, make sure you're in a nice stable place, and then the hands drape beside the body. 3 times. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, and as you exhale, roll the elbows back. Twice more, inhale, sweep. Exhale, roll. One more time, inhale, sweep. Exhale, roll. Take those hands to the back pockets, roll the shoulders a little, hug of the elbows, sink into the knee, lift through the heart. Hands will move to the hips, bump up the back leg for 2 straightish legs. Lift nice and tall, open the heart and lengthen forward, but just a tabletop. Hands come to the thigh with a little push against that thigh bone. Pull the heart forward. Great place to stay, but if you want to add that little twist, that little IT band stretch, hands come to the outside, just a couple of inches outside the foot. Pull the heart in that direction. The hips stay roughly where they were. Take an inhale as you exhale, soften into that front knee. Stepping back, maybe hands wide, maybe holding the mat. Melting the heart. All fours work here too. Reset either to all fours or to that regular down dog shape. Right foot steps forward. We'll go for the second round. Back heel spins down. Come up to the top of warrior one. Hands will drape beside the body. One time, inhale, sweep the arms towards overhead. As those elbows roll back, I want you to take the hands behind the head. Interlace those hands behind the head. Sink into the knee. Take a moment, drop the shoulders, open the back. Any amount, let that head fall into the hands, keeping the jaw, the face, the brow nice and soft. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bring those hands to the hips as you bring the torso upright. Bump the back leg up so you have those 2 straightish legs. Lengthen forward towards tabletop. Again, hands to the thigh. Get nice and long here. Left hand can rest on the shin, or it's a great place to use the block inside the foot. Bring the right hand to the back pocket. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. And then start to turn the heart to the right. And as you do, I want you to drop the left hip. Let those hips roll. Can you add a little hug of the inner thighs here? Long through the spine, open through the heart. Take an inhale as you exhale, start to unwind, soften into the knee. Step back to either all fours in Anahata or maybe that melty, open, downward facing dog. Resetting towards that downward dog shape. One more time. Left foot steps forward. Bring the back heel down. Come into your warrior one shape. Hands beside the body. Inhale, sweep the arms towards overhead. Roll the elbows back. Maybe clasp the hands behind the head. Maybe switch the grip. Drop the shoulders broad in the back. Lift through the heart and let the head fall into the hands. Little give and take between the hands and the head here. Soft through the face, through the jaw. Take an inhale as you exhale, coming upright. Release the hands to the hips, bump the legs up, two straightish legs. Take an inhale as you exhale, come forward towards tabletop. Hands to the thigh, find that little push. Bring the right hand either to the shin or maybe to the block. Left hand to the hip, draw the shoulders away nice and long. And as you turn, let that right hip roll under, finding this twist. Woo. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to unwind. This time, softening forward, coming to a forward fold towards the top of the mat. Take a little shake of the head, yes, a little shake of the head, no. And when you're ready, come up to standing, maybe soften the knees, come up with a nice strong back. Take a big inhale, reach the arms overhead. Bringing hands to the heart. So find those feet, hips distance-ish, but make sure it feels like a stable stance for you. Try not to be too narrow because that can challenge our balance a little too much. But with those feet roughly at hips distance, take a moment, inhale, reach the arms towards overhead and take the hands to the back of the head like we did in that warrior one. Drop the shoulders away from the ears, broaden the back so the front and the back of the heart are nice and open. Get as tall as you can and then let the head fall into the hands. You can find a little push of the hips forward if you'd like. But keep getting a little taller, a little taller, a little taller as you lean back. We'll be here for a couple of breaths. Soft face, soft jaw. Feel free to soften the knees if you need to. When you're ready, come back up through to center. Let the hands drape beside the body. On an inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Let the right hand just fall down. Take a little side bend. Come back through to center and go the other way. Come back through to center, hands come to heart. Maybe take a moment to check in with breath, check in with intention. A little drop of the chin, blink the eyes open. Soften the knees and just find a little washing machine twist. Let the arms float, be soft, just a little sort of wash out. So we're going to go one more time. All right. When you're ready, stand up nice and tall again. And know that you can always have soft bend in the knees if that feels more stable for you. This time the hands are going to come to the back pockets. Now if you like the support of the head, feel free to go back to that one. Roll the shoulders away, a little hug of the elbows, stand up tall, keep the front and the back of the heart open. Imagine the head has that feedback of the hands and gently take that lean back. Maybe the hips press a little forward. You might back up if you feel that roller coaster sensation, maybe back up a little bit. Soften through the jaw, through the face. Take a few breaths here in the standing Ustrasana, the standing back bend. When you're ready, come back up through to center. Go nice and slow to avoid the head rush. Once you get up, inhale, sweep the arms overhead. That left hand floats down, take the side bend. Come back through to center, right hand floats down. Come back through to center, bring hands to the heart. Check in with breath, check in with intention. Find your drop of the chin, blink of the eyes open. Soften the knees once more and find that little washing machine movement. Good. Coming back through to center. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Go ahead and soften the knees as you come forward. Keep those knees bent in a dangly forward fold. It might feel good to give the head a little shake yes and a little shake no. And when you're ready, inhale, take a little lift up. We're going to come down and find our way to a seat. So you can start in an easy seat if you like. It wasn't the most graceful transition, but we'll let that one go. As we're seated, you might, if you want a little hip lift, a little love, a little more gentler seat, feel free to take that folded blanket underneath the hips. It can add a little extra space, some nice cush. So if that feels good to you. We will start with the right leg extended, the left knee a little bit wide, like a little kind of wide tree shape, a Janu Shirshasana shape. You might like the block under the knee or even a blanket under the knee for support. Sit up nice and tall. Take a little turn of the heart to the right leg. And with a long open spine, come into the fold, resting on the thigh, on the floor. If you can reach the foot without throwing the shoulders, then maybe reach for the foot. On an inhale, start to come up. Step that left foot to the mat. You're going to move that right foot more to a hips distance shape. Left elbow to the inside of the knee, and then open the heart, a little open twist. We've done a lot of closed twists today, just a nice counter to those. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to unwind. This time, the left leg goes a little bit wide, the right knee bends. Support that right knee if it needs a little love. Sitting up tall, turn your heart towards that long leg and then start to hinge at the hips, finding that fold, keeping the heart open. Connecting to the foot isn't really important. What's happening up here in the heart space is more important. Inhale, start to come up. Right foot steps to the mat. That left foot will move so the feet are more hips distance. Right elbow to the inside, a little open in the twist. Take an inhale. As you exhale, start to unwind. You'll step those feet hips distance, but have a big bend in the knee. And then on an inhale, as you exhale, just drape the spine forward. Make sure this feels really good on the low back. The head can hang, but if there's too much pull through the neck, just find a little lift through the back of the head. As you inhale, start to walk your way back up. If you're on the blanket, go ahead and come off the blanket. I will have you set it up into a nice thick roll before we come onto our backs. So roll it up like a nice little burrito or a nice little, I don't know, cinnamon roll. So you've got a nice little roll, and then just set it off to the side where you can reach it. With the feet to the floor, the knees up, gently recline onto the back. As you come to your back, maybe place the hands to the heart. Just take a few more breaths here as we start to wind down and calm down the practice, just to connect again to this heart space, to Anahata Chakra, to your intention. On an inhale, hug those knees into the chest. You can hold the shins or the backs of the thighs. And then start to draw circles. So going to the right with the knees working together, draw circles to the right a few times. Just creating this gentle little massage to the low back. You can exaggerate the movement if it feels good. Coming back through to center, hug the knees wide, hands to backs of thighs, or hands to the feet to a happy baby shape. If this doesn't feel good, maybe feet to the floor, knees up with a little windshield wiper shape. If it feels good, you can rock, you can sway. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, bring those knees to the chest again. And then this time start to circle them the opposite direction towards the left. Just looking for just a little TLC for the low back after all that twisting, after the back bending. One more time, hug those knees in towards the chest. And then one last happy baby. If there is another posture that you would like as we settle in, feel free. Sometime in the next few breaths, I'll invite you to start to find your way to a restful shape, to a Shavasana shape. I would recommend taking that little blanket roll and placing it under the knees so the feet will go a little bit wider. The blanket just cushions and gives a soft bend to the knees. And then let the arms open wide so you can really just expose and ground the front and the back of the heart. The other option, and for some people, back bends can be a little energizing, so you might take that blanket roll and just give a little weight, a little grounding to the hips, and again, open the arms wide. So start to find your way to your favorite Shavasana shape. So yogis, as you settle in here for your final resting posture, I'll invite you to set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes. Find gentle, calm breath. Just allow this heart opening, this heart nourishing practice to settle in. Take this time to receive the love of the practice you've given already. Take the time to let it soak in. It's been my pleasure to be with you here today on the mat virtually. Have a lovely, lovely rest of your day. Namaste.